reserves. Okay? So the sale, to me, is what is of concern. I've done some calculation. I've got some report that said that the gold was sold at an average of $3,900 per ounce. I did my own calculation, and it seemed to be more around 4,100. So somewhere around 4,000 is what per ounce was what the gold was sold at.
So about 22 plus tonnage was sold out.
Yes. Okay. All right. And per the previous slide you had, the one that had the full statement, all right, about $2.6 billion was what was realized for that gold. When you do the calculation for that, okay, you realize that you would get that sale price of give or take $4,000 per ounce. And one has to ask, why did they sell it? All right. The official information we have is that they sold it because best practice said that they should rebalance the amount of holdings that we have. That's what the governor has told us so far. But I'm surprised because somewhere around the last quarter of last year, even I myself checked. And the forecast for gold, I checked the forecast. And they were all saying that gold would be 5,000. Some forecasts had gold going all the way up to 7,000. And these are not just from one source, from very reputable organizations that deal with this thing. So I think Parliament needs to look at this very carefully. Why would they sell the gold at give or take $4,000 if forecasts are all saying that we would get 5,000 or more?
And then maybe there was a need for us to sell.
No, there is no need, because at least that we can see. Because if you look at our import cover, which is our foreign exchange reserves, okay, what was left by the last government was around $9 billion. And that $9 billion, which currently sits at about 14 billion, okay, has rather grown. And in fact, if you look at the windfall that we've had, because gold went all the way up to $5,500 last month. That was the peak. It's now back to about 5,000. So on what basis did they need the money? Why?
Maybe they need the money for other stuff.
They need the money for where? The reserves are there. The import cover. There is no statement that has shown that that money was needed. This needs to be probed by Parliament. You know, because you have enough reserves. The reserves had naturally or organically had grown
to 14.
To 14. You take out the 2.6 that was added from the gold sale. From that. And what is the amount? The balance will be about 11.4. So 11.4 is what had naturally been built up. And you know, the reserves grow based on the inflows and outflows, right? So the inflows from exports, already we were having a windfall from the gold price increases, which has gone from $2,300 an ounce to, as we said, at some point this year, even up to 5,500. So more than doubled. So when gold is increasing at that rate, okay, and our imports are now less than our exports, then the government's foreign exchange reserves are going to grow naturally. And they did grow, at least up to 11.4 billion, as I was just letting you know. So if the reserves grew to 11.4 on its own, right? Why do we need to add? And coming up initially, when I heard about the rebalancing, and the fact that about 40% of our reserves were in the gold, okay, and that was overweight, according to the governor. All right. If it's overweight and it's not best practice, fine. I can possibly accept that. That hasn't been fully explained as to who, because he said that he mentioned that when we compare ourselves to our peers, because there are central banks around the world which hold way more gold reserves than Ghana. So when he says peers, people are asking, who are these peers that he compared us to? One. And two, even if it was best practice for us to liquidate that amount of gold, which somebody else built for Ghana, okay? We have to make sure that at least we get an optimal price for it. And if forecasts are all showing that gold was forecasted to get to 5,000, some have it up to 7,000.
Yeah, so
why will you sell it at 4,000?
Right,
I don't understand.
So currently, as of today, gold prices is 4,866.51 per ounce. Well, that is about 1.8% increase today.
It sounds like they have cost the state serious money. Per some calculations, Ghana has lost $800 million from the sale. It's a serious issue.